people calling you up and going, "Oh, what's the show, man? It's great." You know, that sort of thing.
What, just like that?
Yeah, exactly like that. I've got a friend
He's being mean too, making fun of you. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome at post-football match conference.
I really think that's really
good.
Go Warriors!
Did I win or lose?
How much did they pay for you?
You lost.
Yeah, I lost.
I won.
Hi guys, sorry about the loss for today.
It's a tennis match.
This is tennis match, yeah. Sorry, just tying my shoelace here. I'm just sort of hanging out down here.
Hiding from the press.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Let me know when it's over.
You have combat boots on. What's that? Okay.
Do the whole way up the leg.
Awesome.
Cool. Is it just
Yeah.
photos or?
Was that it? Great. Thank you guys.
Everyone's too polite to get going.
Yes, somebody's got to
Please, ask a
start.
question.
Are you enjoying yourself today?
Yeah, it's great.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you should probably ask her because it's like Emmy's first Comic-Con thing.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Wow.
Because Netflix sent us to Brazil and to New York, but it was a very cultivated, like, sneak us in the back, we do a Q&A, and then we sneak out, and we didn't really just spend any time on the floor and, like, interact with any of the people there.
Yeah.
So it's been really awesome, really awesome to just be in the middle of it and, you know, see all the cosplay and...
Yeah, it's great. It's great to
everyone's-
see some Umbrella Academy cosplay
Yeah.
because I've not really seen anyone I've done these things before.
Yeah.
There might be the odd one hanging around, but there's been so many today now the show's out. And it's great to see, you know, like what the different takes are on the characters.
The Klaus umbrellas I've seen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
classes, yeah.
There's a lot of white
classes.
violins, a lot of
Yeah.
number fives.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's
Are
so
you
cool.
surprised by the show's the show's success, but how fast it's grown?
It has grown
Yeah.
very fast, yeah.
I think it's a thing you always hope for. Like, yeah, you know, I don't think you set out to do any project being like, yes, this is it. This is going to be so big.
Yeah.
But I think you hope that, you know, we had such a great time working on it and shooting it. And I think we just, and knowing that it's coming from the comics, wanting to, like, make the fan base that it already exists proud and hope that they understand and see, you know, the way, the version that is now on their televisions and like it as much as we enjoyed it. So but I definitely am shocked. I did not think it was, you know, we have no idea because Netflix holds all their numbers really close. But it sounds like they are very excited and have been. So.
And it's great to see the response from the fans, you know.
Yeah.
Like I think that's a good telling sign, you know, because until I turn up here today, you kind of get an idea that the show's doing well, a bit of online chat and stuff, and people calling you up and going, "Oh, what's the show, man? It's great." You know, that sort of thing.
What, just like that?
Yeah, exactly like that. I've got a friend
He's
who's
being mean too, making fun of you. My face was getting ready. I was
Like,
like,
yeah, like that we go.
you do that way.
I need to stop making faces when there's that many cameras around. But yeah, you get it's great to see the response from the people, you know, and seeing how excited they are about it, which is great because we got so excited about it.
Yeah.
So it's great.
Has it been a big response to the dancing? I think we're alone.
Which
now.
one?
Oh,
I think we're alone now.
They
yeah.
think, oh god, yeah.
That's a lot of people's favorite. I think it comes
Yeah.
at the perfect time in the
It's
pilot
such a
because
good
it's
moment.
so
Yeah.
heavy and it's so dense and it's like really methodical and slow and you're unpacking these characters and it kind of comes at a moment where you're like, oh god, I need a break from all the drama. And
I think it's
that
also like it's a
becomes
great sort of indicator of
the style of the
yeah,
show.
the style of the show that you never really know what's coming, and there's a quirkiness to it
Yeah.
that is unexpected, and that's what carries on all the way through the show. So yeah, the response has been brilliant for that. Yeah, and we had a great time doing it. Too much fun.
How hands-on were the creators? Because on shows like American Gods and Good Omens, Neil Gaiman is very much part of the show running now.
Yeah.
I wonder, because obviously this was the baby of Gabrielle Barr and Gerard Way, and I'm wondering whether they were... that's a long-winded question. How much involvement were they allowed to have on a series of this nature?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is with those two are the creators of the comic, and they were exec producers on the show, right? So they had a massive input, and they were there right from the beginning, the development of the show. And then Steve Blackman, who is the head showrunner of the show, he's the one that the day-to-day, the genius of the show, really, the way it's scoped out is down to him, you know, and overseen by those guys who, you know, had the comic book in mind and the stories of the comic book.
Yeah.
But Steve Blackman is amazing, and he really deserves the credit for the show.
Yeah.
And one last question, so are you aware of the amazing graffiti street level PR that's going on, including one in Digbeth in Birmingham that you're not going to see tonight because you're in a hotel here? But it's absolutely amazing, by a guy called Jim Vision. He's a big graffiti artist.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently in a lot of cities around the world, you've got these absolutely huge, beautiful black and white piece of artwork for Umbrella Academy, and they're pretty magnificent.
You've
Yeah,
seen
I've seen one in
right?
Shoreditch.
Yeah.
I actually I took a selfie in front of it. Yeah. Yeah.
Jim Vision's the guy behind it. Look up his artwork online. He's absolutely phenomenal.
That's I didn't really know that it was like a thing. That's really
There's one in Liverpool as well, right? Is that right?
Yeah, it hasn't been robbed yet though.
Really? Wow.
Did you go to the source material yourself as part of kind of your research, the comics?
I think we were encouraged to read it if we wanted to. There was zero pressure because I think Steve really wanted all of us to bring our own takes to the characters. But you know, I absolutely wanted to know where we were coming from. So when around the time that I was auditioning, I bought both of them and read them. Yeah.
It was also the only thing we had, apart from the pilot script, it's the only thing to draw from to kind of influence the character choices and stuff very early on. So I was the first one to be cast like in, I think it was like 2 or 3 months before someone else was cast. So I had this kind of empty time of going, I need to know more about the show, I need to know more about the character. And so I kind of immersed myself in the comics, you know, because it was the only thing I could draw from at that point. But they are a great influence, and I think it was really important to sort of find what people fell in love with in the characters in the comic books, and then try and bring those things into the show.
Thank you. During the series, there's a really great part for me that I found really moving with you. And you were talking to Pogo, and you found out there was, sorry for spoilers guys, but there was no reason for you to be on the moon. And your response to that was so raw, and so it was really pure. What do you do to prepare yourself for such a heartbreaking scene? Do you just wing it, or do you have to...
Or raw onions.
Lots of raw onions. Yeah, there's just a pile of chopped onions. No, the thing is with something like that, you have to really get inside the character's head. You know, you have to think about what they will have been through. And for me, I was like, imagine, you know, being on your own for that long and thinking your whole life's purpose was for something that ended up being a lie, and it was just for nothing. Like for me, that it just had to organically happen, you know, and it had to be something that I just felt, because if you force anything like that, you know, the camera sees it all, so you have to feel it. It has to be raw, and sometimes it's not easy, you know. Sometimes but that's when it's a testament to the writing and how clear these characters are on the page. Like, I knew who Luther was. I knew what he'd been through. I felt like I was him at that point. So, like I say, you let it happen organically. You trust the things that are going on inside your head, you know, as that character.
The comic books have a very particular style to the artwork. When you were sort of, you know, you said you had a few months to look at it. When you were looking at it, did it sort of cross your mind of how on earth were they going to get that particular image translated into a TV show? I think they did a fantastic job.
I think the
of
biggest
it.
one for us was Klaus. Like, I didn't know. I was like, how are they going to do that? That's going to be crazy. But I think that also was Steve was like, I love where this came from, and like the you know, all of these characters have so much to offer, and there's so much going on, and their powers are so unique and different. But I think he also was like, but I also really want to ground it in reality and kind of make it more about the drama, about the family dynamics, about the psyche of these characters, and not so much about, you know, Robert floating around the house and you know, David swimming a bunch.
Swimming around. Breathing underwater. Yeah, I think he had to find a way of making the characters really relatable to everyday people. You know, I think if you just took it straight from the comics, it would feel so kind of out of this world that it's like, well, it's not really relatable, and that's what all of these characters are. They're all so different, but all very relatable in their own ways. They've all got very sort of earthy issues. You know, they've got all these issues that I'm sure a lot of people can relate to.
Yeah.
I was going to say, this is like your third kind of big franchise that you've been part of now.
popular.
Says the Hamilton star.
Exactly.
I was going to ask, is it something that you kind of get used to, or is it kind of hard to fit in with that huge fan base that follows it? And have you had to mentor Emmy through this, because it's quite a big thing?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to answer the first part, I mean, I don't think you ever get used to it, no, because, and also you never really know when you're doing it, when you're making it, that it's going to be that. So this is the first Comic-Con thing that I've done since the show's been out. So this is my first kind of going, oh man, there's like a growing fan base here that's happened quickly.
Yeah.
So it has the potential to absolutely be another one of these kind of shows. But no, you never really get used to it. You sort of just take it in your stride, I guess, and just meet every individual person as they come along. As for Emmy, she doesn't need any.
Oh, shut up. I'm here because of him. He was like there, because I knew because of Game of Thrones and Merlin and Black Sails that he kind of was in the con world and had been doing them, and I feel like you did one while we were shooting or something. I can't remember. But I was like, what is that? He was like, I got you. So I'm here today because he introduced me to his agent, and I was like, I wanna like be on the ground and like meet the the people that love this show and love Gerard's and Gabriel's work, and it's really, really cool.
It's also the only like because you obviously come from a musical theatre background, right?
Give us a song.
And you get that immediate sort of fan response when you're there in the moment. Whereas TV and film, you don't. So I always find that these things are a great way to see the reaction that you don't immediately get. So you get to see what people really think about it, and it's really nice,
Yeah.
What are your favourite moments from the season?
Oh man, there's a few. We always say the group scenes, right?
Yeah.
We always say that they're really fun.
Any of the
group
scenes that we were all together, because there's so many of us and all of our characters splintered off so many times, there was a lot of times where it would like just be Tom and I working for a week together, or Ellen and I working for a week together, or like all of us, everyone kind of doing their own thing. So when we got to come together like as a group and work on a scene together, those were usually some of the best days, because we all just get on so well and really, really enjoy each other's company.
Yeah, and our characters are so different, So when we do those scenes, it's so fun to play with, because we also got to know our characters and each other's characters quite quickly. So we kind of knew how to play with it, how to interact and ad-lib and do a bit of improvising and stuff. So no, those moments are always great.
I think my favorite, I have like 3 of my favorite scenes are our dance, are the end of episode 8 with Ellen and the gross, and then the phone booth scene. Like,
which was the phone booth scene was the very last scene we shot on the show
of the whole season.
And it was like the daylight it was a night shoot, and it was the daylight was coming up, so we were having to rush to get this phone booth.
They kept putting like these flats up because like the sun, it was like 6 in the morning, and we were like supposed to be in the middle of the night.
We had to wrap that night.
Yeah,
so,
that was the last scene that we shot for the whole season.
Yeah. So that was kind of special as well.
Yeah.
Do I have to end it there?
Oh.
Any news for season 2?
I wish.
It'll happen.
Yeah. From your mouth.
All the words with Gerard tonight.
Yeah. Call up Netflix. What's good?
Thank you for coming to Birmingham as well, because we don't get a lot of things outside of London. So thanks.
Thank you for having us.